greatest armies of their day clash at an eerie range of hills known as the Dog's Heads. Will the relentless hack and grind of the Roman legions prevail, or will it be the geometric perfection of the fearsome Macedonian phalanx? Tonight, a team of spin doctors, observed as always by our military analysts, find out on Time Commanders. Welcome to the show where history's greatest generals live to fight another day. And doing battle tonight are a team of political consultants from London. They are Craig Keeley, who reads up on weapons systems in his leisure time and really wants to win.
In my mind, I'm ice cool, calm, collected, etc. But I know I do panic at the slightest thing and start squealing usually.
Jo Thornton wants to be on the show because she likes men in leather skirts.
We probably all take the mickey out of each other, pretend we're paying attention to each other, and then generally do exactly what we want to do.
Caroline Evans is the boss at work and always believes her opinion is right.
I think it'll be a really good team exercise for us all, and hopefully we won't all kill each other in the process.
And Ruth Westerby, who's swapped the serenity of yoga 3 times a week for the thrill of the battlefield.
We'll probably all just get incredibly excited, angsty, overwrought, and cry.
Together, the Spin Doctors are tonight's Time Commanders. Welcome, team. Great to have you here. Given your job, I'm not going to say Spin Doctors too many times. It's a win-win, isn't it? Because if you lose, you're just going to be able to turn it round.
Absolutely.
I should imagine. But what skills do you think you will be able to bring to bear on this from your work?
Crisis management?
Oh, definitely.
Crisis management is good, because there probably will be a crisis.
Will be a crisis.
In fact, there almost certainly will be a crisis at some point. So you reckon you'll be flexible and able to sort of come up with new ideas?
Good communication.
Thinking on our feet as well.
Communication is essential. That really is essential. Well, good luck. We'll see how you do in battle. And keeping a watchful eye over our team's tactics tonight will be the Time Commanders' experts. And they are historical analyst Arik Nussbacher, senior lecturer in war studies at the Royal Military Academy, Sandhurst, and ancient historian and author Adrian Goldsworthy. OK, team, now this is the bit where for once you're not doing the talking, you're doing the listening, and pay attention very closely because here comes your battle briefing.
You are going to refight the Battle of Cynocephalae. It is the year 197 BCE, and you're going to be fighting in Thessaly, in the northeast of what's now Greece.
This is a clash between two of the greatest powers of the ancient world, the rising power of Republican Rome and the ancient kingdom of Macedonia that had been the power base for Alexander the Great. And the two armies of these powers clash at a range of hills called Cynocephalae, which in Greek means the dog's heads.
The Roman and Macedonian armies have both been moving westward. Each army knows that the other one is there, but neither army knows just where the other army is.
But they're both committed to their march. The Romans are going northwest, the Macedonians are coming southeast. They're heading directly towards each other from opposite sides of the same path. It doesn't help that it's foggy. Nobody quite knows what's going on. The situation is very confused, but the clash is now inevitable. Now, team, you're going to be taking the role of the Roman army, at the heart of which are 2 legions of Roman citizens. Now, at this time, the legions are recruited from every citizen who owns enough property to provide his own weapons and equipment. So the wealthiest are the cavalry, the poorest, who don't need so much protective gear, are the light infantry, the velites. The heart of the legion, though, are the heavy infantry, and these are divided into 3 lines. You've got the youngest, men in their early 20s, are the front line, they're the hastati. They're armored and backed up with the Spanish sword, a very effective weapon. Behind them are men in what the Romans considered to be the prime of life. That's my age. The principes, who stand in the second line, equipped exactly the same way. And at the back are the veterans, the older, more experienced soldiers. They've got longer spears instead of the throwing pilum.
The Latin word for wing is ally, and you've got allies here today. On your wings, you've got people from other parts of Italy other than Rome, and you've got a few elephants, and you've also got people from the Greek city-states.
It's a good, balanced force. They're not professional soldiers. Roman citizens are obliged to serve when the state calls them up. Everybody in this Roman army, although they're just conscripts, is as experienced, probably more experienced than the professional soldiers the Macedonians have.
So it's our team of political consultants as the Romans against the Macedonians. How are you going to talk your way out of this one then, guys? What do you reckon?
I thought we'd ask them.
Well, you've got 2 questions, and I would advise you to use them very carefully because we're going to take the experts away and you fight the battle on your own. So, ask away.
What's more important, keeping formation of our main troops or achieving getting up the hill, basically?
What we're seeing here in this battle is a clash between 2 military systems. We're seeing a clash between the old Hellenistic system, which the phalanx dominated, this big mass of people with long spears, and the new Roman manipular legion, the checkerboard of legionaries, which is much more flexible. And on rough terrain like this, flexibility will be the key to victory.
One more question.
If we've got lots of ability to manoeuvre around, and they're coming straight at us, we want to run away, basically, and get around the sides, how quick are they comparative to us? Can we actually sort of fall back in front of them, and will we be quicker, or will they catch us up?
The phalanx, as you say, only goes in one direction, forward. You have got the ability to adapt and move around, and if it comes to a contest of maneuver, you will win.
Okay.
OK, that's it. No more help from the guys, I'm afraid. We've got one more important thing to do. Only 2 of you will be fighting as generals, 2 of you will be fighting as captains. Now, I don't know if you have your personal preferences, but they are irrelevant because our experts make the decision. They study your profiles and they decide. And then it's crucial how you work together as a team. So, now's when we find out who will be the commanders and who will be the commanded.
Joe's top tactic is to flirt outrageously with the guys on the computers so that they win it for us without us having to tell them what to do.
Joe, you are a captain.
Caroline, you are a general.
Ruth, today, you are a captain.
Craig, old boy, today, you're a general.
The tactic to flirt, it's a vicious lie. I don't know where you heard that from.
So, team, now you know. Are you happy with that?
Yep.
Just about.
Are you? Is it going to work?
I hope so.
Anybody disappointed?
No, it's what we wanted.
Captains, don't go thinking you've got an easy job because you haven't. And generals, we'll see how you do in the heat of battle. So, fancy a fight?
Yeah.
Glad you said that because there's one coming your way. The skirmish. The smaller fight before the main battle. This is quite common, this often happened, and it's good news for you because it's like a little practice run before the big battle, and the experts are going to brief you now, so listen up on what you can expect in your skirmish.
At Cynocephalae, the fog was so thick that the standard bearers of the 2 armies couldn't see the road ahead of them. And the 2 armies were marching on either side of this ridge. Neither army could see the other. And then reconnaissance patrols from the 2 armies met in the middle.
It's a bit like turning a corner in a dark house and suddenly stumbling into someone with a shock. No one's expecting this. Everything is developing not under the control of the generals, but simply the people on the spot. Now, you have an opportunity. If you can seize the higher ground, that will give you an advantage in the subsequent battle. So that's what you've got to try and do now in this skirmish.
And that is your lot, because the experts are going. Now, Eric, Adrian, thank you very much indeed. They'll be up there on the observation deck and they will be watching. Don't let that add to the pressure, please. What are you going to do? Very quickly, what's your plan?
Get up the hill bloody quickly.
Well, you're not going to have long. Captains, you can go down and find out exactly what you have got and report back to your generals. Go down there now, please, because the time for talking is well and truly over. Let's see what you're made of. Right, you're in a fight.
Okay, everyone, can we just go running flat out, first of all? Just get up the hill, we can worry about what's going on after that. A line to the right, though, OK? There's 2 hills in front of us. We want to go for the right-hand side one. Ruth basically goes straight up.
Okay.
So the two armies are approaching the ridge from different sides. The Romans in red approach from the right.
Yes, but it looks like the Macedonians are already on the ridge. So it's going to be an uphill struggle for these novice generals.
Ruth, can you start edging more towards the right, please?
Head more towards the red, please. Thank you.
Now look at this. It looks as if the team are going to try and outflank the Macedonians.
Have they got archers on the hill?
They are
Right,
archers.
basically, our cavalry should be able to just run straight over them, but stay away from that phalanx.
The Macedonian force looks stronger. It's got the advantage it's already on the slope, which will help it if it can charge down. So this is going to be a tough one for the team.
So do you want my archers?
We want to be coming,
Do you
basically, we want to be coming round the right. Perfect. Absolutely perfect.
Oh, can we go up more here?
Joe, can you start aligning slightly more to the right? Perfect. Yeah.
Stop.
Sometimes a slow start is best. Sometimes just getting stuck in is
There's
best.
cavalry or something coming towards
Getting
you. I
stuck
don't
in
know
is a
what's
good
behind
tactic.
you. We need...
These are the velites, the light infantry composed of the youngest men and the poorest men in the legion. They have animal skins on their helmets, so their officers can pick them out in combat and judge whether or not they're being brave or whether they're hanging back.
Now, they're coming up the hill, hell for leather.
Yeah, because as yet they can't see much of
Charging the horse up the hill, hell for
Macedonians.
leather. The Roman cavalry will be good and blown when they get to the top of that hill.
Yeah.
Ruth, stop your forward
my
men. Stop
cavalry.
them dead. Stop them
Stop.
dead. What have we got? Can you tell me what we've got?
My cavalry are being shot at.
Now they're standing there trying to reform. They're
much
dying
better
in the
target.
droves. That's right, because they're standing still.
Doesn't help at all.
If they kept charging the archers, the
They'd
archers
have a
would have
chance
to react.
Yes, they'd either run or if they didn't, they'd get cut down. They've allowed the
it's
Macedonians to
dying.
seize the initiative. That's a mistake. Now, it may be a command and control problem that no
Yeah.
one's quite sure yet.
Guys, I'm sure it's lovely standing there.
If they're going to stand any chance, the team has got to advance now and engage the enemy.
And here they go. There go the cavalry.
Oh, the cavalry are coming to get me.
Stop them dead. Stop them dead.
Round the back, and through. Okay. And as soon as
Oh, the
you
cavalry.
Wiggle.
Well, they've gone in behind them.
Now, that's good.
Now, the team's cavalry have caught the Macedonian phalanx in the flank and rear, and you can't turn around quickly when you're carrying a 21-foot pike.
But now look, the Macedonian cavalry have briskly counterattacked.
I suspect that didn't happen on purpose, but what you did was come up behind the phalanx. They can't turn, and you butchered them. That was lucky.
The team has wasted a lot of its cavalry, but maybe they'll learn a lesson about how vulnerable a phalanx is in the flanks and the rear.
Now, the Roman army at Cynocephalae is led by the 31-year-old Titus Quinctius Flamininus. He's proved himself as a soldier in the bitter Second Punic War against Hannibal, when so many senior Romans had died.
That's what gets Flamininus his early promotion, isn't it?
Yeah, he makes it a consul at the age of 30 instead of 43.
Joe, you've got troops on the right-hand side. Can you wrap them around the side, basically, and just take them in the flank?
Probably not. No, I don't know.
Joe is being a little unhelpful there. Craig is trying to find out what's going on, and Joe is having a hard time understanding his questions and responding.
You can obviously hear them because he's certainly giving enough voice to it. Caroline at the moment is really just looking. She hasn't been... Effectively, Craig has taken over and is giving the orders. No bad thing in a small action. You don't need two generals because there isn't that much to control.
Right, go after the cavalry. It's all going horribly
going,
wrong.
just attack them.
Because people tell me what's going on.
My cavalry are all dead, and I'm being charged by horses.
It was good at the beginning, but it's all turned into a pile of shoes.
The skirmish has broken up into lots of little combats in which the team's getting massacred.
They're not influencing the battle.
Are these me?
Right, you can see the phalanx starting to steam down the hill. Now the sarissa, the 21-foot pike, is weighted at its butt end, so 14 foot of it projects in front of the man. This is going to be very nasty.
Oh, that's right, because they've got these unformed...
Yeah, they're not prepared for this. Now, you can see the Macedonians lowering their pikes.
That small group of the team's infantry there is surrounded by pikes.
Okay, shall I move over to the right a bit?
I think the light infantry is about to buy it.
I'm just being murdered. Look at that.
They were just sandwiched there between the the cavalry and that approaching phalanx. The phalanx, you'll notice, this is interesting. The phalanx didn't engage them. The phalanx fixed them in place. The cavalry struck.
You can't be much more dead than those
This is going
infantrymen.
very badly wrong.
Well, get out there and they can't stand there. Oh dear.
Hang on.
Ruth, are those
Yeah, can mine flee towards
were.
Joe, please? I'm fleeing towards Joe because I'm getting.
Okay, just fall back and save our tunes. We've lost the high ground. Let's just deal with the battle later on.
But the team's few remaining velites are trying to get into the combat now, but really this is just too little, too late.
Have you thought about running away? It's just an
I'm
idea.
just sort of thinking maybe we should do that.
I'm beginning to
I
think.
did say let's fall back. We're not going to win this battle. Let's just pull
Do you know,
back.
there's no need to run away. Just get a taxi. There's only about 4 of you left.
Maybe.
They are running away.
We'll
Good.
lose
That's
that.
good running away you've done there. Well done.
Getting out of there is an important point. This is just a reconnaissance.
Yes.
All they needed to do was find the Macedonian army, and they did.
High ground would have been useful, it isn't vital.
No, that's right. It's
You need to know, Flamininus needs to seize this battle and start to control it in the same way that Craig and Caroline will have to do. At the moment, the battle's occurring in a way that a battle shouldn't. It's not under the general's command, it hasn't occurred after careful manoeuvring, it's just happened.
Okay, fall back. Everyone just fall back and save some lives.
Stop slaughtering them.
I've got 4 men.
Okay, when we hit the main battle, yeah, you've got to yell back and tell me what troops are where, 'cause I can't see.
Craig, do you want
All
us
I
to
can see is big
withdraw
lumps.
or not?
Okay, that's it. Come on back under the table, captains.
I'll be a lot better then.
Right.
Right.
Well,
At least now we know how to deal with the main battle. Right, when we go down the main battle, first of all, just tell me exactly who's where in your line, because I couldn't see
Can I
anything
still
from here.
describe things in guys with long spears, guys with short spears?
that's
That
fine.
works
Call them
fine
what you
with me.
like. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter.
'Cause I don't know what
I'll
names.
take the mickey, but it doesn't matter.
Thanks.
But I need to hear something
gotta-
back from you. You were just
yeah,
sort of
I did say a few things. You didn't hear me.
Okay, right.
Yeah, you have to
I'm
start
not
with
listening.
Craig. It's like in the office.
It's like in the office. You got to yell my name out first of all.
Craig seemed to take control there, and he certainly wasn't listening to Caroline much. But one thing that Craig didn't do was impose his will on the battlefield. He had no idea what he was trying to do. The one thing that they did do was accidentally stumble into a Macedonian phalanx. And when they did, that phalanx disintegrated. They must learn from this that they can go for the flanks or rear of a phalanx and cause it to collapse on itself.
I think you were lacking aggression a bit on the field as well. You've got to remember it's a fight, and that's what you need to be doing. You spent a lot of time, well, running away.
Yeah.
And you need to spend a bit more time being you're Romans.
We're lulling them into a
You're
false sense of
Romans, you
security,
don't just run off. Good luck in the main battle. I think you're going to need to work on your teamwork. That is key to this. If you don't get that sorted out, you're going to get slaughtered. Now you've got a bit of time to sort yourselves out and get ready for the main battle, because it's time for the Council of War. Captains, get down to your positions, start sussing out what you've got. Generals, let me give you this. This is your army. Try not to break it if you possibly can.
Can we see what sort of position we've got in then?
Okay.
Who have we got in front?
As the fog clears, we get a clear view of the task facing the team. The Macedonians, in orange and black, hold the ridgetop, but a good half of their army has yet to move into position and is still in march column.
But will the team spot this crucial weakness?
OK, guys, that's it. I'm afraid the rest of your planning you're going to have to do on the move. You're going to have to adapt to circumstances. What's your
Okay.
plan?
Right, our basic line, I think we have got a big, huge gap just here. Basically, we would need to divide their army into two. We want to push our cavalry through their gap and then send the rest of our army that side. I want to just concentrate on that particular wing. And if their troops do turn around and start looking back at our cavalry, that's when we push the legions straight in at the front. We want to be coming at them from two sides.
What about these? Elephants.
I think we want to wait till they're quite tired.
What about what, you're going to send your elephants in when they're tired?
No, when the enemy are quite tired.
You're going to send...
Basically,
right,
they
so
are...
wait till they're tired, send your elephants in late to kind of steamroll and clear
Yeah.
it.
No, use the elephants to get them scared.
Well, guys, you're going to have to sort it out when you're on the move. I'm sorry, there's going to be some more, I suspect, heated discussions.
Is that all the time we get?
That is your time. It's over. It's 197 BC. The Romans and the Macedonians are about to bump into each other on a hill. Let's go to war.
Good luck. Right, Bruce, can you push all of our cavalry to the centre there? Joe, you want to be coming round the right-hand side of the flank. They've got about 4 units of whatever they're called, chaps with spears.
Doesn't matter what you call them, as long as you all know what you're talking about.
Can everyone start a line into the right?
Running or walking?
Right, basically, Ruth, you want to be heading for the middle of the hill.
This army's been campaigning for several years. They all know each other very well.
That's a really important point for the Romans. The Roman army has been fighting Hannibal for a very long time. This is the army that defeats Hannibal, and that's important.
Some of the men that began fighting in this war had actually been defeated by Hannibal at Cannae back in 216, and they're still in service and have been permanently. They're getting pretty fed up about it, but they're damn good soldiers. At the head of the enemy army is another veteran campaigner, King Philip V of Macedon. He's 41, so he's a lot older than his Roman opponent, but he's been on the throne for a long time and he's been fighting for nearly all of those years. Thing is, he hasn't really fought very many big battles like this one.
My cavalry's going quite fast at the right flank. Are you happy with that?
Okay.
Now look at this, on the extreme right, the Romans have sent 2 cavalry units herring up that slope. They're getting onto the high ground, they're going to see what they can do on the Macedonian left, that most vulnerable spot.
And this is one of the elements of their plan, wasn't it? That they were going to lead off with the cavalry.
Yep.
And this will give them the opportunity, once they're up at that crest, to spot the Macedonian phalanx as not yet in good order, to spot all of the light forces who will be guarding the flanks of that Macedonian force, and to scatter them.
See, look at all that. This very vulnerable Macedonian army. The Romans' cavalry is in the perfect position to exploit this weakness.
Joe,
If they hit those phalanxes now, or even scatter the light forces who are meant to screen them, then it's going to be all up with the Macedonians. It's going to be over very quickly
They are
indeed.
intensely vulnerable like
far
that.
forward. Joe, so I want you to go through, I want your troops going through the gap and coming around the back. Ruth?
Yeah?
Ruth, their troops in front of you have come a lot further forward. They've left their phalanx behind. Can we just concentrate on their right wing? The troops directly in front of Ruth.
Now Craig has halted Joe's attack dead in its tracks. That makes no sense whatsoever.
That is genuinely dim. They're not going to get a better opportunity than that to do the Macedonians some serious damage.
And now they're taking javelins from the Macedonian skirmishers. And look, here come the Macedonian cavalry.
So the team came all that way, they got into a perfect position to ambush the Macedonian left flank, and now they're just leaving.
What they've actually agreed is that Caroline won't make the decisions. They'll leave all the decisions to the General Craig. But Caroline now isn't really doing anything. She needs to be at least scouting around, keeping them informed about where the enemy is. Then they won't get snuck up on from the rear.
So rather than trying to destroy the enemy left flank before they make it up the hill, Craig is obsessed with the Macedonians who are already on top of the hill.
Now we can see Ruth's cavalry coming in here, taking some casualties. Now the Romans used the 4-horn saddle, gave the rider a lot of support even without stirrups. So he could use a sword, use a spear, throw a missile very, very well.
Let's see if it works.
Be very careful of these. There's a phalanx just in front of you.
And that's going to get very bloody.
Now the Roman cavalry has made a real mess of that neat phalanx.
Yeah, but what's it going to cost her?
Okay, my cavalry are not responding to my orders, they're running away.
See, they got sandwiched by the enemy cavalry, and they're taking massive casualties.
You've got some archers just there on their own, Joe. Can you just...
No, they're running away from me.
What are those archers there? Can you just use them to sort of just to pepper those? Because our great opportunity here is their phalanx is just sort of, it's off on its own. It's not even committed to the battle. We've got to defeat this side of their troops first.
Now Craig's just failing to direct either of his captains' cavalry maneuvers in the middle of the battlefield.
Craig, I need some direction. What do you want me to do?
Craig needs to do something very quickly.
Yeah, those Roman cavalry are going to be caught on the hop. Oh, they've just been completely steamrolled.
Craig, Craig, what are you going to do with your cavalry? They're getting butchered.
I can't see where the cavalry are. Where
Well,
are
they're
they?
there. All the ones
Right,
lying
Joe.
on their side.
Sorry, Ruth.
Craig says he doesn't know where the cavalry are. That's right, because he's not been looking at his map. That's right. Nobody was looking at the screen.
He's got the advantage of the map table, he's got the monitor. What's he doing with it? It's an absolute mess, but in spite of Craig's confusion, his captains have managed to get a lot of Roman troops up onto the ridge.
Yeah, that's not going to do them any good unless they do something useful with them.
We've got them wide open. We're sort of fighting here in the middle.
Can elephants take the archers on? Yeah. Okay, let's have
Be
a
very
look.
careful of these.
Okay, so there is the Roman line, and there are their reserve, the elephants, and they're in the front. Okay,
completely.
that's fine.
So that's the plan completely reversed, but by whom, we don't know. Probably on the initiative of the captain on that sector.
Which is Joe.
And that looks like it could well be the right thing to do. It depends how they use them.
Where are the elephants?
Craig is not paying any attention to his elephants. He probably thinks they're still behind. He has no idea what's going on here. If the elephants, well supported, get stuck into those phalanxes, they'll go down like 9 pins.
And it's not too many years before that the Romans themselves have suffered under Hannibal and his use of elephants. Now they've got their Numidian allies to give elephants to their army. They've got this extra bit of fighting power that they can use themselves. Philip's son Perseus came up with this bright idea of having a special group of men in spiky armor. When the elephants trod on them, the idea was that they'd hurt their feet and then they'd run away.
Now there are the Roman legionaries. Roman legionaries go in 3 quick steps and then right in against those pike points, and there go the elephants. Wow.
That's going to be nasty.
They're just starting to go down, and there's nothing the Macedonians can do. There's some Macedonian archers, I think, starting to form up, try to attack the elephants. Look how vulnerable that flank was to those elephants.
Oh, elephant down.
We've got to bring our troops around. Your troops sort of can outflank round the left-hand side.
Yeah, we're heading up there now. So I want them up and then come in from the back.
Okay, hold. Everybody back up to the table to your first positions. Right, okay. This is a pause. Time for you to gather your thoughts. I've got to say, your elephants did a fantastic job. Made a real mess. However, your cavalry have been absolutely, they really have taken a pounding. You're losing a lot of men. What are you going to do? You haven't got long, you've got about a minute.
Okay, right, Joe, look, you've done very well. We've got this little pin. I mean,
Craig obviously feels he's got to give his people detailed instructions. So instead of paying attention to what's going on around him, he is giving detailed direction to Ruth and to Joe at the front.
It's a danger for any commander. You can get involved in the small details, and that's fine as long as someone else is looking after the wider picture, but that's not happening.
Caroline, you're still a general. Just because he's louder, what are you going to do?
I'm hopefully going to give him lots of information about what's going on, so he can make
Essential.
decisions.
Information is everything.
all I can see is the 3 pictures. I can't see what troops are what.
2 seconds. No seconds.
Well, basically, this is what
So after a shambolic start, our battle novices...
Virgins.
OK, virgins have managed to get into a position where they're doing some real damage.
Yeah, and that's at least in some part due to independent action on the part of 2 captains, Ruth and Joe.
Because I'm worried about
The elephants can't destroy all that phalanx by themselves.
And especially not if they're dead. So they're doing all right.
Can we just have a look at the back of their troops? They've just done something just here. I can't quite work out what it was. Can we go over the back of their troops?
The Macedonians are doing what they should be doing, bringing up their missile-armed troops to shoot the elephants down.
Yes, but those elephants have done what they're supposed to do, which is disrupt the enemy infantry.
Problem is they're unsupported and they're just being picked off one by one.
Guys, the last of your elephants has just been killed. Big dead elephant on the field, don't trip over it. Still, big barbecue.
Joe's success with her elephants has given Ruth time to move up her infantry to attack the vulnerable phalanx in the flank.
Yes, Joe's good work with the elephants has shaped this battle.
Got them completely. Just charge everything in now. We've completely got them before they turn around. Quickly.
Yeah, some
speed, please.
They may have you. Guard your flanks.
The team have committed everything they've got on the left flank and they're going to try and win the battle there.
Yes, but they're doing it the hard way. They ignored the opportunity to win the battle quickly while the Macedonian army was coming up on the right. But it's too late. The Macedonian army is coming into position. What the team have tried to do is they've tried to fight the army in detail. First one wing, then the other. And the problem is they've chosen the wrong part of the army to go for.
The Romans are using the gladius, the short Spanish sword which inflicted terrible wounds. Earlier on in the war, the Macedonians had been terrified when they'd seen the bodies of men killed with this weapon.
Who's that? Right, what have we got in front? What's on the screen? Who's that on the screen?
Is that the right hand side? That's
over on the
Please
right
take
hand
them in the
side.
flank now.
Get these guys in here.
What are they? They are.
Craig is shouting vague questions without making it clear who he's talking to.
What's that line doing just there? With it
It
rolled
needs
up
to
on
be
the back?
Ruth this, Joe that.
That's right.
Specific question, make it clear and simple.
So he shouts a vague question, he doesn't get an answer, and he
They
just
both
goes
get
on to
confused.
shout the next question.
And these just all engaged.
What's this here? What's this right at the back?
This is a sort of chaotic approach. It's just things happen and then they put a spin on it afterwards.
Yes.
They're running away ahead of me. What do I do? The Macedonian cavalry are also running away.
Who's running away?
These guys here.
I can't. No, that doesn't help me. Tell me who's running away. and
Okay,
what
I've got a phalanx running away down the hill, back
if
to
they're
where
running
we were.
away, follow them. Well, actually, don't follow them. If they're right,
Have we still got people at the back behind that hill?
Actually, if they're running, don't bother.
Okay, we take the top of the hill.
We've pretty much won the left-hand side now. We need to get them over to the right and supporting Joe's
You've
troops.
completely won on that side, apparently, right? Can you now start bringing them round the back so we can start supporting Joe?
The team feels like they've completely destroyed Philip's right wing, the one commanded by Philip.
They've certainly done a lot of damage, but the cost has been exceptionally
Right.
high.
Will they have anything left to deal with a fully formed left flank, which they have left
We'll probably get to the top of the hill before they fight it.
Guys, you are doing well, but you need to just sort of, it's very untidy.
Yeah, we're a bit messy right now.
That's the word.
Okay, keep the archers.
Maybe with
up.
very in front of you. Thing is, I've actually taken the top of the hill, but then they're sort of hanging around. It's a nice day.
The team have got onto the left part of the ridge, but their units are now a mob. They've merged into one big crowd.
We've got troops standing still, not involved in the battle.
Yes,
Can we
keep
please start
heading
using them?
Okay,
Whose
so
are these
select
troops?
them.
Joe, Ruth, whose are these troops just here? Whose are they?
Mine.
Can we start using them, please?
Okay, you've got another pause. Back to the table.
The whole Roman system relies upon having reserves, but we've got troops standing still, use them. They're committing reserves when they don't really know where they want them.
Okay, this is a pause. It's an opportunity for you to gather your thoughts. It's, you can still win from here. You can still win from here, but all I will say is it's chaos out there. And it's chaos in here and it's chaos out there. So you need to get sharp.
Let's see what they have got. The team have got bits of a legion here,
Yep.
and they've got bits of a
More
legion
there.
there. All right. And then up here,
A
they've
few
got...
more maniples.
They're doing
There's
okay
the
for
Triarii,
legions.
who seem to be facing backwards for reasons best known to themselves. You can see their long spears there. That's the veterans who should be your ultimate reserve.
It seems as though our operators have been distracted by something, and I can't imagine what.
20 seconds.
Basically, right, let's finish off these guys first in the centre. Then we go after these guys. I can't actually see what these are, but I think they're light troops. I don't think they're
There's another phalanx over there.
Okay, well, I've still got cavalry. I'll send them over there.
Have you seen the phalanx on the ridge?
No.
I'd have a look. On you go. Good luck.
In this final phase of the battle, the enemy's remaining fully formed phalanges are beginning to steam across the top of the ridge towards the team. They've got to act quickly if they're to have any hope of victory.
Okay, they're about to completely switch.
Okay, they're heading towards us along the ridge, so we need to get round behind them.
Do you know what's amazing? Do you know what's amazing? Your elephants that you lost, all your elephants that you threw away, are now actually holding up an enemy phalanx. They're actually, and you're going to claim that you did that.
Absolutely.
You did.
Please.
Don't try and go toe-to-toe
Can
with
we
the
stay
phalanx.
on that view,
Back to
please,
you.
Adam?
Yeah, I know. We're coming back to here.
Whoever's slightly down towards where we started, just get round the back.
These are going to be charged by horse. Can these guys come around
Fall
behind
back in
here?
front of them and just wrap round the side.
Falling back here. Where am I?
Those are troops on the ridge just there, behind them.
Yes, I've got one.
Can we
one
bring
lot
them in
going
and sort of
behind
start worrying them behind?
them. They're just about to be attacked by horses. Quick, get them running.
Ruth, pull them back.
And where are my other guys? Okay,
Right, what are their cavalry doing? What are their cavalry doing? Hang on, what are their cavalry doing? Can we face up? Can we face forward to the cavalry? We're getting charged from the
We really
rear.
need to get those back and
We're getting charged from the rear. Can we please deal with that?
They get over here?
This is really too close to call.
There's a lot of Romans left, but there are 2 Macedonian phalanxes heading towards them.
It's true. This is on a knife edge. The team is not doing this well at all. They have allowed the Macedonian left flank, Nicanor's wing of the army, to turn and face them. They're forming up in a formidable phalanx. And are they going for those vulnerable flanks of the phalanx? No, they're
And they were
not.
just wide open
Great
and
mass.
an easy, soft target.
That's right.
That isn't an easy target. What's your prediction at this stage?
My prediction at this stage is they're going to take that formidable Roman army in a big mob and try to shove it into the front of that
And they'll
phalanx.
they'll lose them.
They'll lose. They'll be ground down.
What a waste. Whereas they could
Procure some Romans.
No, they could
Light
go back in
infantry.
there.
Yeah, they could go around the back. They could go to
But
the
every
side.
time there's a crisis, they're responding by pulling back. Remember how Craig said at the beginning, can I pull my Romans
That's
back?
good. Small cavalry units hit the phalanx in the rear, but there's not really enough of them.
Pull those cavalry back out.
Also,
Now we've got more. This should be better. Now this is what they
That's a
should
good
be
move.
doing. They've come in from behind. This phalanx is now going to be toast.
That's more like it.
Get the horses back in.
Guys, we need this lot to attack the phalanx because they've got their
We're
backs
really,
to us.
really lumpy, Justin. Can we sort of start getting
Before they
some sort
turn
of
around.
This is good. This is really
This,
good.
what we're looking at now is over on the right-hand side.
Okay.
We've got basically we've got them pinned from all sides.
Now the team's hitting the phalanx from the rear. They've got advantage of numbers.
Yeah, if they make use of them, they could still win, but it's a big if. I can guess that they're going to win, but I can't discern any coherent tactics that are going to get the team to victory.
That's right. Yeah.
So they're slaughtering us at the front, but we can just come in and slaughter them from behind.
Precisely. Caroline, that's some good generally.
Thank
I
you.
want to see if those troops are actually engaged.
As the battle has progressed, Caroline has become increasingly assertive.
Oh, look at that. There we go. There we go. So the javelins are going into that phalanx. That phalanx has got Romans to the front, Romans to the rear,
The Romans have withdrawn.
and the Romans have withdrawn. So now that phalanx... Ah, there we go.
That's what they should be doing. They've got the flexibility to do that.
Guys, this lot, they need to get in. They need to stop standing there.
Hey, that's a very good sign.
What's going over there?
We won!
Not yet.
Yes, keep going.
Bring it back, bring it back, bring it back.
So they've done, the team have beaten up a lot of the Macedonian army, but they've done it terribly messily.
Can we close quickly, please? On the... Those troops aren't
In the
fighting.
middle.
Yeah, these troops.
There's
They're doing nothing.
The Macedonians are beginning to crumble.
Unfortunately, the cultural difference that divides their fighting styles also extends to surrendering. Now, once the Romans have got around the flank or the rear of the phalanx, the pikemen are helpless. So they can't fight anymore. They're professional soldiers. They've done their bit and earned their money, but now they can't do any more. Now, being professional Greeks, they decide it's time to quit. Now, Arik, be a pikeman and show us how this is done. There he is, his 21-foot sarissa firmly held in both hands, stretching out in front of him. Now, to surrender, he raises that to the march position, straight upright. It's a heavy weapon, he can't swing it round quickly, he can't do anything to harm me now. As far as he's concerned, it's like raising your hands today. It shows that you're no longer a threat. The problem is that he's a civilized Greek, and he understands that. The Romans come from a completely different military culture. They see an enemy who's just rendered himself helpless, and as far as they're concerned, that's the best time to kill him. So he's just standing there, and the Romans come up and jab to the throat, or underneath the corselet into the stomach.
Ruth,
Yeah,
now who are these troops? Okay, you've got moving now, fine.
they're mine.
You are victorious.
Everybody back to the tables. Captains, come back up to the table. Shock for you. Back to the table. Team,
Well, girls.
that was perfect. Perfect is not the word that I think you'll find the experts use. That was the most chaotic, random approach to a battle
Look, we
I've ever
had logic.
witnessed.
We're women, you see. There was logic to it.
So I think what happened is maybe you used your skirmish well. I know you got slaughtered in it, but you used it well. You realised the importance of communication, and it worked. You won. I still can't quite believe there were a few moments. I mean, your elephants that you threw away tripped up phalanx that were coming to get
It's all
you.
part of a cunning plan.
That's the annoying thing about this, is I can already see the press release that you guys will put together in a genius move. I mean, you sent your cavalry in behind them by accident. But it remains you won. Congratulations.
Marvellous.
Now, let's see
Oh, no, I don't
what our experts think.
I don't want to know.
War is chaos. And today we have truly seen chaos. This was not a general's battle. This was a battle for the captains, for the centurions, and for the individual Roman soldier. It would have been a lot better for everyone concerned had these two generals done absolutely nothing and let the captains and the soldiers get on with it.
We talked a lot about flexibility at the start, about the importance of having reserves, and yet wherever we seemed to look, there was this whole crowd of Romans all cramming into the smallest possible area they could get. First, second, third line, plus the light infantry, all crammed in. Now, you just, at the last minute, would always manage to pull them out and do something clever with them, but it's not the way the Romans are supposed to operate. This is doing it the really hard way.
That's right, but it was the captains who were able to do that. Who sent the elephants crashing through there? If you had not, early on, sent those elephants crashing through the Macedonian right wing, you would not have won.
But she disobeyed orders. Look, if we start going through
She
all of that...
she took the initiative.
I like it.
Let's not even go into that, because I suspect there'll be another battle over the table. Why don't you show us what actually happened, guys?
Absolutely. Hey, Adrian.
Oh, thank you very much. Oh, sorry, we go. Right, I shall have to come in here. I'm the Romans approaching. Now, I'm marching in the standard Roman formation, 3 columns. That'll be my front line, that'll be my second, that'll be my third. So as soon as I see the Macedonians, I start wheeling to the right to form this up.
And I, the Macedonian army, have got King Philip commanding the right wing, and I've got one of his best generals, Nicanor.
Hang on. So you got Phil and Nick, basically.
Phil and Nick. I've got Nicanor commanding
Phil and
the
Nick
left
against
wing.
Flaminides.
And I'm not going to stand around and wait for him to get himself sorted out. I'm going to take my great big phalanx and start moving it in against the Roman left.
These guys are at the back of the column. They've got the furthest to go, the least time to do it. So they're disordered, and this lot just thunders down the hill on us, and it's not pretty. But over here, we're formed and they're not. So our front line slams in, and then our cavalry slam in, and then our elephants slam in, and we're happy bunnies. So my right's successful, his left's gone. His right's successful, my left's gone. But he's one big phalanx in a solid line. I'm lots of flexible lines, lots of maniples. So it's now that a tribune whose name is unknown peels 20 maniples off the back, brings them round, and attacks you in the rear.
So just as one captain saves the day for your team, one tribune saves the day for the Roman army.
So, Eric, Adrian, thank you as our experts. And I can't believe I'm even saying this, but unwittingly, it seems it was a spectacular and accurate recreation of exactly what happened on the day. Team, I don't know how you did that, but it was superb. Thank you. You have been watching Time Commanders.
After the battle, Philip was forced to sue for peace, and the Macedonian threat to Rome was eliminated for the moment. Cynocephalae was without doubt a turning point in history. It was a key stage in the inexorable rise of Rome and the decline of the Macedonian kingdom.
And there's more action with the Time Commanders next Sunday on BBC Two at the later time of 7:15.